Swansong was inspired by a book by an Italian journalist called Oriana Fallaci. She wrote a book about a Greek anarchist who was arrested, imprisoned, tortured, kept in solitary confinement for long periods of time. And my dance was just trying to interpret the experience, a human rights issue basically, and I wanted to make a dance about it. And I chose to make it in the form of a commedia dell'arte performance, like it was 3 clowns. But basically it was an interrogation, and I found that the best way of suggesting questions and answers was to use tap dancing. But then when the prisoner is alone in the cell, the language of the dance becomes a little more free, combination of classical and contemporary movement, but with the suggestion of extended lines suggesting freedom, flight. I've always been moved and sadly inspired by human rights issues. Political, social issues have always been at the root of my work. I guess I'm trying to make a statement, but the statement isn't the first thing. What I want to do is make a good dance, a good piece of dance theatre, something that works, something that affects and moves an audience. And I've chosen a cast of very, very special artists. I have such great memories of working with Matz, Kevin and Koen. I mean, we laughed so much, even though we were making basically a serious piece. We had fun, we laughed, and out of the humour and the hard work, we made something quite special, and that made a terrific impact theatrically. And it's those times in the studio that are so important. It was like collaborating with 3 actors. They gave me as much as I provided them with material and ideas. Yes, I made all the choreography, but they fed back in terms of personality and the way they would play their roles. So it was a wonderful collaboration. They were fun, they were quite naughty sometimes. But when it came to the business of putting it all together, they were so professional. And I've always been attracted to those kind of personalities, using what's there in them and bringing it out and feeding it into the work. It was a remarkable piece for its time when it was made. The idea was quite novel, and it had great success. The company performed it many, many times. So I guess it's part of the company's history now. You know, it's always interesting for me to come back to a company after many, many years. Basically, it's the same process, but when you think of all the generations of wonderful artists that have moved through, come and gone in this company, just so remarkable to see yet again great artists and a great work ethic that goes on, because this company was always very busy. They worked very hard, and it always had tremendous personalities. The same qualities I can see are still there. You know, it's like one generation manifests all those qualities that were there years and years back. It's an ENB piece, so it's very much part of the history of the company. My birthday wishes for the company would be that it has many, many happy returns. This company has to go on providing the quality of dance that it has done for 70 years. I mean, what an incredible repertoire. Just keep it going, and good luck.